And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the first episode of Midweek NFL Talk. I don't really see anyone in the chat quite yet, but I'm sure that as the show goes on, I'll probably get some people in the chat. I'm basically, if you haven't seen, the videos I've made on this yet, what I'm going to be doing on the show is I'm not just going to be talking about the Falcons. I'm going to be talking about all NFL teams, all, everything going on in the NFL at this time. I'm going to do the weekly picks. I'm actually going to do some Madden simulations. And I'm really, in a way, going to, have this show be like, a podcast type. So I'm not really going to have my camera on much for the show. Now, when I do my games, I will have my camera on for that. Speaking of my games, I do want to promote some stuff before I actually get into the topics I'll be talking about on today's show. I will be doing tomorrow night Kansas City Chiefs, Houston Texans opening night game. Football is back after 7 long months of waiting. And then on Sunday, I'm actually going to do a pregame show at 9 or probably 10 a.m. Eastern time for the NFL Week 1. Review all the games, talk about some stuff, some keys to the games, and all that good stuff. And then Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing the Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks. Falcons, first game of the year. Let's get this W, Falcons. But this isn't about the Falcons. It isn't Falcons midweek talk. If you want to do something like that, if you want to see something like that, I recommend you go check out Sports Live in the ATL. Slitta, he will be doing, let me actually get this up for a second. He will be doing a new Falcons midweek show that's gonna start I believe next week, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. But tonight he will be doing a stream with 2 Seattle Seahawks video makers. I don't remember their names, but he will be doing video with some Seattle Seahawks video makers, and he'll be doing the game on Sunday, so go check him out, diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. So we are one day away. Tomorrow, NFL football is back. And when I tell you that we've waited so long for NFL football to be back, I'm telling you, we've waited long for NFL football to be back. We've waited since February. February 2nd, I believe. Yeah, February 2nd. And tomorrow, NFL football returns. Kansas City Chiefs, Houston Texans. Like I said, I will be doing that game. But this is the first episode of Midweek NFL Talk. And, with everything that's been going on, with this position, and, the contracts and stuff, and really all the controversy around, the running back position contracts over the really past 2 to 3 years, I decided, why not actually discuss this? So, I think as we all know by now, Joe Mixon got paid. I believe he got a 4-year, $58 million extension with the Cincinnati Bengals, and Alvin Kamara, it was looking like at one point last week, Alvin Kamara, they were ready to trade him. It was all but official that he was getting traded. but they got on good terms. They started talking again about a new contract. And it is looking like he'll get this contract done possibly any minute now. Any minute it could come out that he has a new contract, but we don't really know when it's going to happen. If you remember last year, the Julio Jones, deal, that got done a day before the season started last year. So, that's definitely interesting to note. They definitely probably could get it done a day before, 2 days before, but I want to actually talk about this position and really what could, happen. Now, I think we all know by now, about the David Johnson contract, the Le'Veon Bell contract, all those contracts right now, Devontae Freeman, even Todd Gurley. And I don't necessarily think Gurley had a flat-out awful year last year, but he definitely did underperform what he was getting paid still. So I definitely think that teams do actually really have that fear in the back of their heads. What if, I pay my running back? Like, maybe what the Saints are thinking. What if we pay Kamara, and then we revisit this a year later, or year or two later, and we're like, oh my god, this was the most dumbest move we could have possibly have made, paying this guy this much. He isn't even performing like how he was when he got this contract. He isn't performing like a guy that would get half this money, maybe even. And to me, I really don't just look at the Alvin Kamara deal. That could get done in any day. I look at the Dalvin Cook contract. I look at that because Dalvin Cook is a running back who first 2 seasons in the league were full-on injury riddled. And then at one point last year, like I want to say, it was like from weeks 5 to 8, I actually saw some people talking about him as a possible MVP candidate. So that is really interesting. But with Dalvin Cook reminds me a lot of the Le'Veon Bell situation. Le'Veon Bell, him and Dalvin Cook have 2 very similar playing styles. They're both real, versatile running backs. They kind of, not the biggest frame, like not a Derrick Henry frame, but do have a little bit of a big frame for a running back. They can catch out of the backfield when they need to. They can obviously run the ball very well. And when they're at their best, they got potential to be the best running back in the league. But the concern that I think the Vikings are having with Dalvin Cook is this. What if we pay him? And then after we pay him, he ends up getting injured. And he's just injury riddled. And then we have to take a hit like how the Rams did with Todd Gurley. And we just have to release him. Like what Melvin Gordon, his situation. The Chargers probably have played the most smartest, thing with a running back over really the past 15 to 20 years. Maybe that's a little reaching at it too much, but really, they did it smart. They got what they wanted out of him. They got the 1,000-yard rusher. They got a top 5 caliber running back. And then, heading into last year, he was wanting a deal like every other running back, but the Chargers looked at the contracts like Le'Veon Bell and, David Johnson, and they were like, do we really want to pay this guy? Because this guy, in 27 years old, is really up there in age for a running back. It really is. And the thing with running backs is today you're starting to find so many, and you're not going to find any of them anymore who are just going to run over defenders. Most of these running backs today, they're versatile. They'll juke you, they'll spin you, they'll, hurdle you. These running backs today are really, really talented. And the way I look at it is this. The Chargers played it smart with Melvin Gordon. They franchise tagged him, I believe, and they just let him hit free agency, and he's now with the Broncos, and I guess the Broncos are going to get out of him whatever he has left in him. That's the definition of, at one point, the running back is MVP caliber, and then the very next year, where is it? He doesn't even look like a top 20 running back in the league anymore. I mean, that's just really how it goes. So, I don't only look at it with the Alvin Kamara deal or the Dalvin Cook deal. I look at it in a way of what's going to happen with Saquon Barkley. That's the main thing I look at. What's going to happen with Saquon Barkley? How much are they going to pay him? Because to me, Saquon is maybe one of the most talented football players we've seen in the past, really, 15 to 20 years. I mean, Saquon has potential to be like a Barry Sanders, but we saw the injury last year. How long is he going to last? Now, I think that definitely he is going to, be having, because he's going to be out for money. That's what he is. After this season, the Giants can pay him, and he's basically the face of the franchise right now for the Giants, And I'm going to say this. I don't expect the Giants to be good this year, but I think if there's one running back that can carry his team to the playoffs, it's probably Saquon Barkley. That's how good Saquon can be. However, we got to also think for a second. Look at the injury he suffered. Look at, all that. And look at what's happened with other running backs. So, can we really trust Saquon to be healthy and be like, a Barry Sanders type for us? Or is he just going to, following the steps of a Le'Veon Bell, a Todd Gurley, Devontae Freeman, where we'll give him the money, and then a year or two into the contract, we end up releasing him because he just ain't playing like how we're paying him. And they got to take a big hit. So, that's really the way that I look at it. So, to me, if you're asking me, what do I think needs to happen, is I think that the Saints should probably pay Alvin Kamara, because if you really look at the Christian McCaffrey deal, they had no choice but to pay him, because he was the engine for that team. He's the engine in Carolina. We all know that by now. He is the Carolina Panthers. Since Luke Kuechly retired, he is now the Carolina Panthers on offense and really on defense now. So, they had no choice but to pay him, make him the highest paid running back in history. My hope is, and I'm a Falcons fan, but, it's really hard for me to say where this McCaffrey deal will end up going. It could end up going really good. It really could. But it also could end up following in the steps of, the contracts I mentioned earlier. So, I think that the Saints are trying to think of all the cases possible, but if they want to keep Kamara, they're going to have to pay Kamara. So, my personal thought on all of this is I think that the Saints are put in a position where they got to pay Alvin Kamara, and we got to think about, the Saquon Barkleys, the Nick Chubbs, you gotta think about all of that. And then, obviously the running backs after that, like the Josh Jacobs, and then the running backs this year. I mean, lots of people and lots of teams, they try to get it out of their running back the first 2-3 years of his career, because after that, statistics show that he just goes to mediocre. And, I really think that Adrian Peterson is the last really running back that has been able to stay. And Adrian Peterson ain't who he used to be 10 years ago, but who has been able to play, in the NFL for this long. I really think that now, guys like David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell, I think after they finish out, their contracts with the teams that they're with now, they ought to just go ahead and retire, because what else is there really for them, is my thought. Now, the next topic we're going to cover is really a topic that is more wide open than lots of people think. I think when you think about the question, which team actually really improved the most this offseason, everyone's going to say Tampa Bay, because they got Tom Brady, they got Gronkowski, they got LaShawn McCoy, they got Leonard Fournette, they got okay defense. Everyone's like, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. When I mean this, I mean this. The Buccaneers are nothing but an overhyped train. That's all that they are. They're, they remind me of the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles, last year's Cleveland Browns. I really think that's how the result is going to be. And I don't think that they're the most improved team this offseason. Maybe second or third most, but I don't think they're the most improved team this offseason. Now, when you look at the offseason, I look at, the moves that were made, the draft. How did this team, do overall in the offseason? And, there are lots of teams that come to mind for me, but I was really able to jot this down to really 3 teams. The Dolphins, the Colts, and who is going to be my most improved team this offseason, the Arizona Cardinals. I think that when you think about it, we got to really think about this for a second. The Cardinals, after Carson Palmer retired and Bruce Arians left, they got, I don't even remember the guy's name, he was with Carolina the year before. So they bring in Josh Rosen, and 2018, we all know, they went 3-13, had a god-awful year, and when I mean god-awful, just god-awful. So they got the number 1 overall pick, and they got Kyler Murray, which, I think is going to turn out to be a great move. And they brought in Cliff Kingsbury, and the first season last year, they went 5-10-1. But you always kind of expect that with a team like this. And a team that, really has been stuck in a bad position since 2015. Honestly, it was a step in the right direction. So this offseason, they went out and they got DeAndre Hopkins from the Texans, which, if we're talking about a team who dropped down the most, it's the Texans, no doubt. When you got DeAndre Hopkins, who, by the way, just got extended as now the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, I think that's overpaid in a way. But I also kind of get it. You can't just trade for a guy who you're only going to have on the team 1 or 2 years, and then, he just hits the market again. So I kind of get it, but I wouldn't have paid him $27 million per year, if you know what I mean. Really, when I think about this, I think about really something where, they got DeAndre Hopkins this offseason. That's a great move to me. That really is. Not only do you get DeAndre Hopkins, but you get, you pay Buda Baker, who is really an underrated safety and has been underrated for, to me, years, because I feel that Buda Baker, he really, can play like, a Harrison Smith in a way. He is a safety that can really do it all to me. I feel that in a way. And you got Isaiah Simmons in the draft. You had a good draft. I feel that the Arizona Cardinals are the most improved team this offseason, heading into this season. I do expect Arizona to be in contention for a wild card. Don't know if they'll make it, but I do expect them to indeed be in contention for a wild card spot. I don't know if they do it, but I do definitely expect them to, come week 17, be in contention. Some other teams, you can maybe make a case for the Miami Dolphins. They're not a team that I would expect to flat out be in the playoff conversation, but I definitely think can be a 7-8 win team. I really do. You get Byron Jones this offseason. You get Kyle Van Noy. You get all these guys. This defense is really looking good. And Brian Flores might just be the first Belichick assistant to be able to, actually give Belichick some headaches for years to come in the AFC East. And personally, I wouldn't be shocked if, we do end up actually seeing that. And then also, the Indianapolis Colts, you got Phillip Rivers. They maintained a pretty good roster and got better. I think that they're really an underrated team. And yeah, so now I'm going to go into a part of the show where I'm actually, going to do two things. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to give my Madden simulation results for that week. So, here, we go with the simulation results. I'm going to give that to y'all, and then I'm going to do my season predictions, and all that good stuff. Really show y'all, kind of what Madden thinks, each team will do for, that week, and all that, good stuff. We all know that. I'm gonna pull it up now, and here we go. So, my bad if this is actually bad, quality. And I'm sorry, obviously, again, for, but let me actually, get this, bigger, for y'all. I'm sorry, guys, that, I didn't do this earlier. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So here are the simulation results for week 1. Obviously the Thursday nighter, Madden thinks that the Chiefs are going to win 34-31 against the Houston Texans. Moving on to Sunday, He thinks that the Raiders are going to win 48-17 versus the Panthers. As much as I want to see the Raiders win, I think Carolina isn't going to get blown out by that much. I really don't. And then, obviously, the Eagles them to beat Washington 28-12. And then actually predicts, the Falcons to win 27-17 versus Seattle. Predicts the Packers to win versus at the Vikings 21-11. Predicts the Patriots to win versus the Dolphins 22-20. Predicts the Bills to win versus the Jets 21-13. Predicts the Lions to win 27-23 versus the Bears. Predicts the Colts win 34-17 versus the Jaguars. The Browns beat the Ravens in Baltimore 31-28. Predicts a Chargers win 37-27 at the Bengals. It predicts the Bucks to win 38-30 versus the Saints. Predicts the Cardinals to win 30-21 at the 49ers. Predicts a 45-14 Dallas win at the Rams. Predicts, a 17-10 win with the Steelers beating the Giants on Monday night, and then a 24-14 win with the Titans winning at the Broncos. So, that is all of the simulation results for Madden. Sorry if, I had some trouble, doing it because I actually, and just so you guys know, there might be some times where I do actually do this on StreamYard, because StreamYard's just, really easier for me. I'm kind of experimenting with OBS. I don't really like it that much. So I'll probably, use StreamYard probably for my games. I was experimenting with OBS. I don't really like it. And yeah, that's just how it really is gonna go for me. And obviously, StreamYard's a lot more easier for me. So, here are my game predictions. I'm gonna close the show out after this. I was gonna take phone calls today, but I don't really know if I'm gonna do it because my OBS has not been working the best. And so obviously I'm going to show y'all the results, and I want to actually tell y'all okay, I'm about to get them. Okay, okay, we'll do it like this. And OBS really much anymore, because to me, OBS is kind of, it's too complicated, to use. If I could obviously use it, but OBS just, crashes sometimes, on my computer, and, StreamYard is a lot more easier, to do, and all that good stuff. So, let me get the predictions up in here. So, NFL Week 1 game picks. I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to start off with the Thursday night game, and I'm going to give the Chiefs a 10-point win versus the Texans. Really, the Texans, they might be able to pull off the upset. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. It's their banner reveal. I don't think it's going to be a 51-31 game again, but I do expect the Chiefs to win. I expect the Panthers to actually win 23-14 versus the Raiders. As much as I want the Raiders to win, Carolina always, seems to start off, pretty good. And I think that, they'll probably get this win here week 1. I got the Eagles winning 28-11 versus Washington. I don't see Washington to be really good here. I think that the Eagles should win and will win. I got the Falcons winning versus the Seahawks 27-17. You might call me biased, but I think when you really look at it, Atlanta has a good team, an all-around, solid good team, and I don't really, trust Russell Wilson early on in the season. And then obviously, I got the Vikings winning 33-21 versus the Packers. I got the Patriots winning 21-17 versus the Dolphins. I feel that this could be a game that the Dolphins could win, but I'm gonna pick the Patriots here. They could get a win here, but I'm going to, pick New England to win this one. Normally, when the game is in Miami, Miami tends to win, with the exception of last year. I got the Bills winning 23-9 versus the Jets. Don't got a lot to say about that. The Bills are just an all-around better team. I got the Colts winning 33-13 at the Jaguars. Now, it could be closer, but I don't really see the Jaguars as a good team, where I see the Colts as a super underrated team. I think that, they're still, Phillip Rivers might still have something, left in the tank. I got the Bears losing 21-20 versus the, Lions. I got, the Ravens winning 34-24 versus the Browns. I got the Chargers losing 16-24 at the Bengals. I see a lot of people picking the Chargers in this game. I'm going to pick Cincinnati with the upset here. I just think that Cincinnati at this point, I think that Burrow will probably, start off his career pretty good. I got the Saints winning 24-20 versus the Bucks. I'm actually rooting for the Bucks in this game, although I would love to see the Bucks fail in New Orleans early in the season. It'll be a close game, but I'm going to give it to the Saints. 23-10, I got the 49ers beating the Cardinals, but I don't actually think the game is going to be as close as everyone, I think the game is going to be more close than everyone thinks it'll be. I think that the Cardinals probably will be in it until late in the fourth quarter, when the 49ers kind of just pull away. I got the Cowboys winning 29-17 at the Rams. So the Rams start off their SoFi Stadium with an L. I got the Steelers winning 27-23 at the Giants. This is a game I could totally see the Giants winning, but I think that the Steelers will get, based off of, I feel that, the Steelers, they're out to prove something. They're out to prove they can still be a contending team. I think the Steelers should win, and then the Broncos win 23-17 versus the, Titans. So, for those of you who did come in, thank you for bearing with me. I'm probably not going to use OBS anymore, just because it was really, to me, inconvenient. So I'll use StreamYard tomorrow night. The Chiefs and the Texans, and all of that. So thank y'all for, coming in, the two people that I did see comment. I see Bet came in here. What's up, Bet? Andy Rod and V Sharpie. So I want to thank y'all for coming in. Thank y'all for bearing with me. And remember, the NFL is back. I'll see you guys later.